Hello everyone, welcome to the Apple Fest virtual cooking class. My name is Marie and this is
Celine.
What are we making today?
We're gonna make apple crisp.
Right, and it is the very best apple crisp,
Yes.
right? Okay, and we're doing something a little bit different with the apple crisp. Traditional apple crisp, you only put the topping on the top, but we're going to put some on the bottom
And then put
and we're
the
going
apple.
to cover the top.
Yes.
All right, so why don't you tell them, get started.
Okay.
Okay, what are your ingredients?
Um,
We started off with, how many apples have you got there?
10 cups of apples.
10 cups of apples. And we used two different kinds of apples for this recipe.
Yes.
We used Granny Smith,
And,
and we used, and those are Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp.
And we mixed the two apples. The Granny Smith is a little bit tart, whereas the Honeycrisp has a little bit more of a sweetness to
yeah.
it. So mixing the two gives it a really nice blend of tart and sweetness. Okay, so what are we going to mix with our apples?
We're gonna do 1 cup of brown sugar.
2 cups, 1 cup of brown sugar, you're right.
1 cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
Plop that in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon. What is it? Yeah, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And then we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon.
Okay.
And then we mix that all together.
Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that your apples are nicely coated. All of the apples are coated.
For sure.
Yeah. And we prepared our apples earlier so that it was ready to go.
Turn yellow.
Yeah. And we've also preheated our oven at 375 so it's ready to go, because once you have all your ingredients ready, it doesn't take very long
Yeah.
to put it all together.
And put it in the oven.
That's right.
Smells
All
good.
right. Okay.
Smells really good.
Yeah. So we're going to put our apples aside for a few minutes.
And we're gonna get the
Spatula in there.
crust. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
sorry.
And then we're going to work on the crisp part of the apple crisp.
Which we're gonna put on the bottom.
We're gonna split it in half once we mix it all up. So
Okay, we got our.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're getting the butter.
Okay.
We got our 2 cups of oats.
Okay. Those are quick oats.
Quick oats, yes.
Quick oats.
All-purpose flour. 2 cups. Sorry, I was looking at the
Yeah.
top.
Okay.
And then 2 cups. And then brown sugar. 2 cups.
Yeah. Okay. This is not a low calorie dessert.
No, that's okay though.
Yeah.
1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay.
Baking
Half a
powder.
teaspoon.
Half
1/2 teaspoon.
Baking powder, and
Yeah.
then just put those over there. Baking soda, and then we're gonna do the cinnamon again.
Yeah. And that one's a whole teaspoon of
That's
cinnamon.
a whole teaspoon, and
Yeah.
then cinnamon, and then the butter.
Yeah, and you want to just kind of scoop your, it has to be cold butter.
Yeah,
You don't want it too soft because you want to be able to mix it with all the ingredients really well.
you can
Okay,
really
you
smell.
can use a cutter.
You can really smell the cinnamon.
Yeah. This takes a little bit of elbow work,
Oh yeah.
so you want to just work it all in.
Make sure you
You want-
scrape the bottom too.
Yeah, scrape the bottom, get it all nicely mixed and blended. And you want to get it so it's like a nice crumble. Why it's called apple crumble. You want to get it to the point where all your butter is broken up into it's probably size of like a little pearl. This will help with the mixing. Take your spatula, mix it all up. This is probably the part that's the most work, preparing this. You can also do this in a food processor and just pulse it so that it just works it into a nice crumble. But we didn't have a food processor here today. So we took a few extra minutes to make sure all of the butter and the ingredients are mixed really well. Now we're going to take 3 cups of the ingredients and we're going to spread them on the bottom of the pan. There's about 6 cups in total. So you're putting half the mixture on the bottom and half is going to go on top of the apples. So now that we have it in there, Celine's going to take the cup and you're going to really press it hard to create a crust. So why don't we bring it closer to you? So you can use the cup to really press it down nice and tight. Good. And you want to make sure it's all nice and even so you have an even crust all across the bottom. Good. The flatness of the cup helps to make sure that you get it nice and flat. Okay? All right.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna give it a little bit more. Let me just get those corners for you.
Yeah, maybe that's my.
Yeah. The butter will cause it to stick a little bit. That's okay. Just give it a press because you want it nice and firm and tight on the bottom. Just like that, as much as possible. Okay, and then you're going to
Add the apples.
put your apples in. Add your apples, mix it up over your crust. Gentle, gentle. Yeah. Spread it nice and evenly. You want to make sure every corner of your tray. Now, so again, there's about 8 apples here, 8 to 9 apples, which gives you about 10 cups to fill a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Yeah, we don't want any of this stuff to go to waste. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, nice and evenly. You want to make sure that you've got apples coating the whole bottom.
Oh yeah.
Wow, looks delicious. If only you guys could smell how wonderful this smells
Right.
with the cinnamon and the brown sugar and the apple. Okay,
And now we're gonna take.
and you're gonna use the rest of your crumble mixture, and you're gonna top evenly. Make sure you distribute it evenly across all of the apples. Now we only put cinnamon in here, but if you really like different types of spices, you can add a little bit of nutmeg if you'd like. You can add a little bit of cloves and really give it that apple harvest taste. And you don't want to pat it down because you want it to have that nice crumbly look
Oh yeah.
on the top. So just take your spatula or your spoon and mix all of your ingredients, or spread all of your crumble so that all of your apples are covered and it's evenly distributed across the whole baking pan. Okay, and
Now we can put in the oven.
we're going to put it in the oven, which we've preheated at what temperature?
375.
375. So now you're going to bake this for approximately
45 minutes.
35 to
Yeah.
45 minutes. We want the bottom of the pan to really have a crust to it. So in the last 10 minutes of the baking, you may want to cover this with foil so that the top doesn't get too brown or burn. It all depends on the oven that you're using, and there's a difference between gas ovens and electric ovens. So you just have to keep an eye on it in the last 10 to 15 minutes and make sure you cover it if it needs to be covered. But it's about 35 to 45 minutes depending on your oven. 375. Okay, all right. We'll be back after this is done baking. Okay, hi everybody. We've allowed our apple crisp to bake for about 40 minutes, and we let it cool off a little bit. Not too much because we want to serve our apple crisp warm with some ice cream on top. This makes about 12 portions, and if you'd like, you can cut the ingredients in half and make a smaller size if you're not serving too many people. Okay, and then you just serve it up on a nice plate.
And then you
Scoop
put
of
your
ice cream right on top. Perfect. And if you have whipping cream, you can put a little bit of whipping cream or any other toppings that you'd like to put on there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Yes. Have a great time at the virtual Apple Fest and lots of fun activities. So check it out. Okay. Thanks, everybody.